Okay, we're on to faces, edges, and vertices now. So, what are all of these things here? Right. So, faces are the flat surfaces on the shape. So, it just means, for example, that this here is a cube, and a face is well, this is it's one of the flat surfaces of the shape. So, this is one of the faces. Okay, that's one face. But of course, on a cube, all of the faces are just going to be the same. They're just all squares. Okay, so that's another face, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's get rid of that. That's because I think it comes up on the screen anyway, and we can see that a face, there we go, right, of these ones over here. These are all faces. Now, edges are straight lines that make up the face of each shape. So what does that really mean? So these parts here. So these are the edges of the shape. And there are more that you can see, there you go, in the background. So when you get given like a cube, you can't see the ones behind, but we've got to be able to kind of visualize that they are there. So all of these things here, right, these are the edges of the shape. And then finally, you've got the edge, there we go, just showing that these are the edges. Brilliant. And then you've got the vertices. A vertex just means corners. Okay, if you're looking at one corner, you call it a vertex. So a vertex is if you're looking at a singular corner. Okay, just so you know. Corners of that shape. So these here are the vertex of the shape. There you go. Okay, so for example, how many faces, edges, and vertices, again, that just means corners, does a cube have? If you want to, sorry, make notes on that, then you can do, of course. So how many faces does this cube have? And if we go through them, you can count, well, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go and add in, because you can't see it, but you've got this in the background. Okay, it just makes it a little bit clearer to what is going on. I've drawn that not particularly well, but it's going to be good enough. That's really bad, actually. That's right, I've got to make that a little bit lower. That was a pretty rubbish drawing. Let's make it a little better. So let's go down. Let's go across. That's still pretty rubbish, but not quite as bad. And then let's just do that again. There we go. Okay, so how many faces does the cube have? Well, you've got one at the front, one at the back. That's 2. You got sides, so 3, 4, and then top and bottom. So faces, it has got 6. Edges, if you go through and count the edges of a cube, okay, and let's go do this with a highlighter. Let's get all of them. Let's go and do it in blue. Edges, you're going to have, you got 1 here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You've then got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you've got 12 to finish up with. So if we count correctly, there should be 12, and there is 12, which is really good. Now, vertices is the corners. How many corners are there going to be? Let's do it in red. It should be, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. There should be 8 corners, and there is. Perfect. Okay. This is a topic actually that some people just have a better spatial awareness than other people. They can visualize things a little bit more easily. It's something actually I find this more difficult, particularly with more complex shapes, but it just comes with a bit of practice. So you can try this one. How many faces, edges, and vertices does this shape have? Okay, you can give it a go, and then you can fast forward it. But we'll go through it now as well, of course. So faces, you've got one on the bottom, that face on the bottom, the rectangle or square. I think it's rectangle, probably square actually. So 1. You then got 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1. You then got the triangle, another one, another one, another one. In total, there are 5 faces on that shape, which are there. Edges, you've got 1 edge, 2 edges. You've got the base, so you've got 3, and then you've got 4. And then you've got the ones going up to the point, which is going to be 5, 6, and then 7, and then 8 to finish up with. So you've got 8 edges. Vertices or corners, you've got 1 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and because it's a pyramid, you're going up to 1 point, so you've got 5 points in total, so you've got 5, which are there. Okay, so this here, I'm not going to go through each of these individually because we'll be there all day, but what you can do, if you want to, you can kind of get this down on your pen pad or whatever you've got, and you can try and go through this yourself, okay, and I'll go through each of them individually, okay, and actually it could be quite useful because I'll go through each of these, I'll put the answers up, I'll go through the first maybe 2 or 3, and then I'll just put all the answers up. But actually being able to sketch these shapes is really quite useful. But a cube, we've seen previously, we've just done that. We saw that a cube had 6 faces, and 12 edges, and 8 corners. A cuboid is the same thing as a cube, just elongated. It's just stretched out. Okay, so it's going to have the same number of stuff. So a cuboid is the same thing as a cube, just stretched out. Because a cube has every single side length being the same, whereas a cube doesn't. Okay, but it's still going to have 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Now, a tetrahedron is basically just a triangular based pyramid. It's a fancy word for it. It means triangular based pyramid. Okay, and this one here, we'll go through. So you've got faces, we've got one face on the bottom. You've then got one face on the bottom. We've got 1, 2, 3 triangles, go up to 1, so you've got 4 faces in total. Okay, edges, if you was to count them out, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. There should be 6 edges. And then corners, you've got on that one, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. So 4 is going to be going up there. Now what you can do is you can go through the rest of these. If you get stuck on what a shape is, like if you can't remember what a square-based pyramid is, maybe Google it, okay? And then you can sketch it, and then you can label it, okay? Same for all of these. You can Google what they mean, and then copy it up onto the sketch part, and then you can go through each of them. But what I'm going to do now is put your answer straight on the board, and you can correct them. So give yourself a chance now to pause them, look them up on the internet, sketch the shapes, and then you can put up the rest of the table. But I'll put up all the answers now so you can see what they are. And there we go. Okay, anything to really talk about here? Perhaps with the cone, for example, you've got faces, you've got a circle. Yeah, that's okay, isn't it? Edges. The sphere, I just want to be a bit more awkward. So, right, a sphere, it's like a football. It's just got one big curved face, which is why you've got 1 there. Edges, there are no edges because there's no corners. And you've got vertices. Again, you've got no corners, so it's just a big smooth face. A frustrum is just when you have like a cone, for example, or this here was a pyramid of some sort, okay? So some sort of pyramid, okay? And it is where you chop off the top of it. You chop off the top of it. In this case, you've got a square-based pyramid. They've chopped off the top of it, so you get a frustrum, okay? That's what a frustrum is. And that is it for this video, okay? So you can perhaps have a look through those, give your work a mark, and you can comment anything that you need to in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.